Well, hello everyone, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you again as usual, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. And for tea tonight, I made these wonderful Haggis Neep and Tattie rolls. So it's basically haggis, mashed potato, and mashed swede, or you could use turnip or rutabaga, you know, whatever you have to hand. But it's Burns night tonight, and it's very traditional in Scotland to be celebrating Burns night with some haggis. So that's exactly what we've done. We've just taken a classic and put a wee bit of a spin on it, and these are absolutely delicious and very easy to make as well. So if you do like your haggis neeps and tatties or fancy trying these, you know, you're not going to have any problems with them at all. All of the ingredients I will leave listed underneath the video. All of these ingredients will give you enough to make 2 large rolls. So if you just want the one roll, you know, just half these ingredients. So I've got a small swede, a few potatoes, that's the haggis, and I'm using puff pastry as well. So let's get on. So the first thing we're going to have to do is chop the veggies. So just peel your tatties and chop them into quite large chunks, around about the same size. And then the same with the turnip or the swede or the rutabaga, whatever you're using. Just peel it and chop it into large chunks. For the haggis, all you have to do is take it out the pack and just roughly slice this, you know, or chop it. It's just for frying. It doesn't really matter. Go over to your cooker, get a large pan, fill it with cold water and pop your potatoes in. Bring those to the boil and then pop a wee bit of salt in there as well. Do exactly the same for the diced swede or turnip, you know, whatever you're using. Into some cold water, up to the boil, a wee dash of salt. Put the lid on and give those about the same length of time just to get nice and tender. Probably take about half an hour. And then with your haggis, just get that into a frying pan on a medium to high heat. You just want to fry this for about 10 minutes. And as it warms up and cooks, you know, it will soften so you can easily break that up. Now you'll know it's ready when it's kind of crumbly and going a wee bit crispy and browned all over. And once that's ready, just set that to the side. By now your tatties and swede should be ready. If you can easily get your knife in, you know, they're nice and tender. Drain the water out, pop a knob of butter in and a wee splash of milk or cream. I like to use cream, it's just that wee bit more indulgent, isn't it? Give those a good mash, keep a wee bit of heat under your pan and that'll get rid of any lumps that are in there. Just keep going until it's nice and smooth and looking something like this. And you're often commenting on my mashed tatties saying how lovely they look, and this is just how I do them every time and they always turn out the same way. So do exactly the same with your swede. If it's nice and tender, just drain the water out. To that, add a wee knob of butter. I like to add a wee dash of white pepper, just a wee bit, and it gives it a lovely flavour, but it has to be white pepper if you can. You just want to lightly mash this. You don't want this really smooth and creamy. Just, you know, give it a light mash because you want to leave some of the texture in there because we're going to be mashing this in with the mashed potato and you do want to be able to, you know, separate them and, you know, tell the difference. So just a wee light mash for that one. So now we're ready to combine everything. So grab yourself a bowl, pop equal amounts of your mashed potato, the mashed swede, and then your haggis on top of that. Just, you know, do try and get the same amount of each thing so that one isn't overpowering the other. And you just want to give those a good stir through, but don't stir them too much. You do want to, you know, keep them as separate as you can, but combine them at the same time, if that makes any sense. This is ideal. And then just roll out your pastry. I've just trimmed the edge off of mine because I did want more of a square rather than a rectangle. You just want to spoon your mixture on a good few inches from the top because we are going to be rolling this up. So you want a wee bit of a lip at the top just to get you going. You can shape that with your hands until you're happy and then just roll your pastry over your mixture and then just keep going until you're just about at the end, but leave a wee bit of a gap because we're going to brush this with some beaten egg. So that wee bit that's exposed there, just make sure it's a nice shape and you're happy with the shape first. That wee bit that's exposed, just go over that with your beaten egg and this is going to give you a nice sticky seal. Then just roll it over on top of that and just keep your seal on the underside and this is absolutely perfect. So you want to refrigerate this for at least half an hour and it will get nice and firm and it'll make it so easy to cut. You know, leave it longer if you can, but minimum of half an hour, and look how easy this is cutting. I'm just going to cut mine into 4 because there are 4 of us, we're going to have 1 each, but you can do them, you know, cut them in half again if you want more sort of bite-sized rolls, but these were for our tea so I wanted them a bit bigger. with your remaining beaten egg, just go over the top and give them a good brush all over. And the last thing we have to do is score the top just to make them nice and pretty for no other reason really. And you could add some poppy seeds to the top, or that kind of thing. I'm just going to leave them plain. Pop them into the middle of your oven for about half an hour. You'll want to cover these with foil if they're getting too dark. You don't want them burnt, because mine was starting to catch there on the edge, as you can see. But just keep an eye on them, but just get them out when your pastry is ready. And I was really happy with these were absolutely delicious, let me tell you. Like I said, we did have these for our tea, so we had these with some mashed potato and some more mashed swede at the side, and I made up a creamy peppercorn sauce. You could add a wee dash of whiskey into your sauce if you like. We didn't bother, we're not too big on alcohol really, but you could if you like. So a big thank you to Gail for the inspiration for the recipe. She did put this forward as a recipe suggestion for the channel, and they worked out marvellous. So Gail, thank you if you're watching. And if you're leaving, thank you all for watching, and thank you to the supporters of the channel over my Patreon page, to the channel members here on YouTube, and for your lovely comments, and for those that share the videos as well, especially because it makes a huge difference. And I will catch up with you during the week for meals of the week, or another wee shopping, unbagging, or even back next week for another wee recipe. So from the west coast of sunny Scotland to you, wherever you are, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you off soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.